Welcome to Wilson Field here at Ernie Chapman Stadium as the Chapman Panthers host the Redlands Bulldogs in tonight's SCIAC Conference matchup. As we welcome you inside the booth, I'm Justin Gillerman alongside Michael Hopefling. Now, Michael, last week we saw the Chapman Panthers blow a huge second half lead to the first place Laverne Leopards. They're looking to rebound tonight against their rival, the Redlands Bulldogs.
That's right. Such a disappointing loss for the Panthers last time out. This time they face a team that's only one game ahead of them in the SCIAC standings. So tonight we could see two teams tied.
We know both teams are very talented and bring a lot to the field. What do the Panthers have to do tonight to get another W in that win column?
Well, the first thing they have to do is make sure that the Redlands defense does not get going. They have caused 8 fumbles in 7 games and have 10 interceptions on the season. Now, Chapman hasn't forced an interception, hasn't gotten a turnover since their game at Occidental, so look for them to keep that streak going today. Next, figure out your quarterback situation. We already know Andrew Chavez will be starting tonight due to the injury to Mac Vale last game, but going forward in the season, Bob Owens has to figure out who his receivers will be receiving passes by. And last but not least, win in the trenches. Redlands' offensive line has only allowed 10 sacks all year. That being said, their defensive line only has 8. Chapman's going to have to win the battles up front if they want a chance to win this game.
All right, now who can we expect to step out for both teams tonight and have a big impact on this game?
Well, starting with the Redlands Bulldogs, you got to talk about quarterback Kevin Russell, 155 yards per game and a great rusher, 5 rushing touchdowns. Next, we got Curtis Tanquary, the running back, only 54.4 yards per game, but deadly from inside the 5, definite goal line back. And last but not least, Mitch Shepard, the Swiss Army knife for this Bulldogs defense. He can drop back in coverage or even rush the quarterback if he has to.
Right now, who are we looking at on the Chapman side of things?
Well, the first things first, you always got to start with Jeremiah McKibbins, the record-breaking running back for the Panthers. 6.3 yards per carry, 139 yards per game, and almost 500 yards the past 2 games, 13 touchdowns as well. Next, we got Sean Myers, a definite go-to receiver, and our sideline reporter will have more on him later. And last but not least, Drew DeMarco always seems to be involved in every play on the defensive side of the ball for the Panthers. 42 tackles on the year and actually led the team with 13 tackles.
Now, these past couple of weeks, Coach Bob Owens has implemented a 2-deep quarterback system with Mac Vale and Andrew Chavez. Chavez is starting tonight. Is it his job now?
It is not his job. Once Mac Vale gets back from his injury, it is going to be a competition all over again. And we actually might see them get really good amounts of playing time going forward in the season, each of them. Now, Mac Vale has had 60 less pass attempts, but has actually more touchdowns and more yards. But Chavez is a much harder quarterback to game plan against. It's much harder to take him down when he's running out of the pocket all the time.
Now, when we talk about the Chapman offense, we have to talk about senior receiver Sean Myers. He's a reliable receiver as it gets in this SCIAC conference. We're going to bring in the third member of our broadcast group. Nikki Lorenzen has more on Sean Myers. Nikki?
Hey guys, I'm down on the field here at Ernie Chapman Stadium. One of our players to watch this game would be senior wide receiver Sean Myers. He's already got 40 catches this season, 558 yards, and 6 touchdowns. 2 weeks ago at the game versus Cal Lutheran, he had a 72-yard career-long catch. That was one of the best ones he's had so far. We'll be talking about Owens later, so stick around. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Nikki. Well, buckle up your seatbelts, folks, as we get ready for a rivalry game in the SCIAC Conference that is sure to have a little bit more intensity in the air tonight. It's the Panthers and the Bulldogs coming up next on the Chapman Sports Broadcast Network.
You build my hopes up, then you tear them down. You think you'll even die on the ground.
Follow your dreams. Chapman University. Take your life to new heights. Chapman University. Invest your humanity. Lead.
Hey, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Chapman is receiving the ball. Ethan Weinstein deep to receive as he takes it from his 1-yard line, cuts right, heads to the sideline, finds an open space, but he gets tackled down at the 25 after a big hit by a Redlands defender. That was number 40, DJ Hollingshead.
Ethan Weinstein, such a dangerous returner. Already has a return touchdown this year. Usually gets it out to the 40, but that time Redlands able to contain him.
Could be a key factor to watch in tonight's game. Like we said in the pregame, Andrew Chavez is starting the game as Mac Vale is out with an injury he sustained at the Laverne game. So Chavez heads out there. McKibbins to his left in a heavy set formation with 3 tight ends. Hands the ball off to McKibbins up the right. He cuts upfield, cuts back to the sidelines, has some space, and he gets taken out at the 34-yard line for a nice gain of 9 yards.
Such a great running back, able to bounce to the outside there and get a few hard-earned yards, able to break a couple tackles too. Expect a lot from him tonight.
It is blackout night tonight as Chapman fans are all decked out in black with their rally towels. Chavez takes the snap, hands the ball off again to McKibbins. McKibbins has some space, but he gets tackled by a gang of Redlands defenders, and he's going to reach the 38-yard line. That's going to be a first down, though, for the Panthers.
McKibbins knew where that first down mark was. He knew where to get.
Here's the starting offense for the Chapman Panthers. The big guys up front, Chris Hicks, Eric Gonzalez. Big guys up front. That left side's a huge part of the offensive line.
A huge part of the success that McKibbins has had so far.
As Chapman tries to get Redlands to jump off sides to no avail. McKibbins switches to the left. Chavez snaps. Hands ball off. McKibbins goes right. Has some space. Cuts it back to the outside, and he's going to get taken down at the 42-yard line. 46-yard line. Excuse me. That was a tackle by number 42, Jalen Devine.
He almost sort of dragged Jalen Devine for about 5 yards. Really able to keep his legs going.
McKibbins is short in stature, but he keeps those legs going and gets some extra yards every single time he touches the ball. Chavez takes the snap, hands the ball off again to McKibbins. He's going to break a tackle, but run into the line, and he's going to get up to the 50, maybe to the 49 of Redlands. Another solid first down run, pickup of maybe 3 yards.
And there's that solid left side of the offensive line you were talking about earlier, just really opening up holes for them to get yards when really McKibbins shouldn't be getting any yards at all.
Like I said, winning in the trenches will be a key to watch in this game, especially offense. The Redlands team is allowing 347.9 yards a game. Chapman's averaging 392, one of the tops in the SCIAC, as McGrew motions back to the backfield. Another handoff to McKibbins. He cuts up, goes up the middle, and he's taken out at the 45-yard line. A great tackle by number 57, Mitchell Shepard, one of our players to watch.
You can really see how vital McKibbins is to this offense. Every play so far has gone to him, and I don't see why that should change if he's running the way he is right now.
Exactly. When you got a workhorse like Jeremiah McKibbins and they can sub someone in like Hakeem McGrew into the backfield as well, hand the ball off as much as you can. Ride your horse. A Wildcat set formation. Handoff snapped up the middle. He's taken down at the 40, so that's going to be another first down for the Panthers as they show a little bit different look to this Redlands defense.
Chapman moving the ball really nicely. We'll see if they can get a score this drive.
That was number 40, Ian Craddock, who is the Wildcat quarterback for this Chapman offense.
He's actually a very good defensive back also. Very good at reading the passer.
Very unique formation Chapman has right now. Still in the Wildcat. Hands the ball off to McKibbins. McKibbins finds some space but is tackled as he tries to cut up the field for maybe a gain of 3 or 4 yards. Going to bring up second down and 7 for the Panthers as they're making their way across the field. A good start to their first possession tonight.
And you ain't kidding. Number 40, Ian Craddock, he's staying in there at quarterback.
Takes the snap, hands the ball off again to McKibbins. McKibbins finds some space, and he's going to take it across the 30-yard line to the 28-yard line for a Chapman first down and run these horses until they can't go anymore. I think that's Chapman's game plan going right now.
And they are winning inside the trenches. their offensive line is really pushing the Redlands D-line back and allowing McKibbins and Craddock room to run so far.
McKibbins last week became the first Chapman Panther to ever rush over 3,000 yards in a Chapman career, and he's adding to that total right now. Chavez back in the game with McGrew to his right. Myers out left. Hands the ball off to McGrew. He bounces it to the outside, cuts back up the middle, and he's going to gain a couple yards. He looked to be dead to the right. A couple Redlands defenders right there, but McGrew saw some space, cut outfield, and got some positive yardage.
McGrew really broke out last game, had a really long touchdown run, had actually 2 runs of over 50 yards against that Laverne team. Well, once again, that unfortunate loss. But their offense is still looking good. Their offense is carrying over into this game, it looks like.
Chavez again hands the ball off, fakes the handoff, rolls to his right, looking for a receiver. Has a receiver, and that's going to be Sean Myers, the go-to guy for this Chapman offense. Chavez rolled right, found some times, no pressure. Sean Myers just kept going with him.
You can see Andrew Chavez, we talked about that West Coast style. He feels comfortable outside the pocket, feels comfortable throwing on the run, and is able to find his go-to guy, Myers.
And that first possession of the night for Chapman, they find their way into the red zone. Let's see if they capitalize. Fakes the handoff, rolls left, throws left. That's McGrew in the flats. McGrew has some space. Is he going to cut upfield for the touchdown? No, he gets taken down at the 2-yard line. Oh, he's going to be spotted at the 5-yard line.
And there we go, McGrew again, really getting involved in this offense, showing that it's not just McKibbins who can get the job done.
Chapman showing a bunch of different looks with that Wildcat offense. Blake Crandolli is also being spelled into the game. So 3 running backs so far. We've seen 4 if you include the Wildcat quarterback. Chavez in there right now at a 2nd and 1 from the 4-yard line. Hands the ball off to McKibbins. McKibbins cuts outfield, and he's taken down just short of the goal line at the 1-yard line. That's still going to be enough for a first down for Chapman.
And McKibbins tries to get in. He can't get in that time, but Chapman knows that they can rely on him, and I wouldn't be surprised if they go back to him again. Here you can see the right side of the offensive line trying to open up a hole, but number 95.
Adrian Rodriguez right there on the tackle. Hand off the ball. McKibbins jumps into the air. Did he make it? The signal is yes, it is a touchdown. And the Panthers are on the board. Jeremiah McKibbins adds to his touchdown total. And right away, first possession of the night, 6-0 Panthers pinning the PAT.
That's right. Wow, McKibbins did a lot of stuff right on that drive. Really showed why he was SCIAC Player of the Week a couple of weeks ago. Perhaps he can get over 200 yards again this game.
And what do we say? The battle in the trenches was going to be a key thing to this game today. And in that first possession, the Panthers showed they got the head up on the competition. Lucas Alfonso in for the extra point. Low snap. Refs blow it dead. Looked to be some movement.
That was really lucky for the Panthers, as that ball was not snapped very well. Sean Myers did a good job of getting the ball back up, but
offsides on the Redlands Bulldogs.
And that's number 95, Adrian Rodriguez, who made that stop on Jeremiah earlier at the goal line, but couldn't stop himself from getting over the line of scrimmage that time.
So Lucas Alfonso will reset and look to add the extra point to make it a 7-0 Chapman lead early in the first quarter. Good snap, kick is up, and that is right down the middle. And the Chapman Panthers lead 7-0 in this first quarter. A good start of the game sends a message to the Bulldogs.
Lucas Alfonso was down for a sec, but he gets back up. Lucas Alfonso, such a reliable kicker. Before the game started, he was kicking 55-yard field goals. He's good. He's a really good kicker.
This will be another penalty on the Bulldogs. Refs wondering what Coach Bob Owens wants to do with this. As you see right there, explaining whether he wants to accept or decline or put it onto the kickoff. Running into the kicker. 2 penalties on the PAT for Redlands. I don't think that's what you want to do.
That's right. One of the keys to the game should have been, I guess, win the penalty battle, because Redlands is being a little bit too aggressive this time, and they need to be aggressive to beat this really good Chapman team. But let's hope Chapman can stay away from the yellow flag here.
All right, Redlands has Devin Appleton and Jacob Guglielmana back to receive. Lucas Alfonso will kick off for the Panthers. It's going to be Appleton who takes it at the 1. Follows his blockers up the middle, but gets taken down right at the 20. He's stuffed after the second attempt. Not much going right there as the Bulldogs begin their first possession on the night, starting at the 20-yard line.
And that's what Chapman is known for. They're known for having amazing special teams, and they really showed that they're stopping a very dangerous returner in Devin Appleton. And we'll see if they can stop this offense now.
Redlands offense coming onto the field, averaging 31 points a game, 370 yards a game.
And there's that quarterback, Kevin Russell, we talked about earlier. Such a dangerous runner. He and Andrew Chavez are going to be the battle of the West Coast quarterbacks here today.
Redlands a very balanced offense, averaging a little more rushing yards than passing yards. Very close. They will look to exploit holes in the Chapman defense, whether that is through the air or on the ground.
And that balanced offense is what makes it so dangerous, is that if you see Russell rolling outside the pocket, you can't just expect him to run. He's also very dangerous with his arm.
Russell starts in the gun with Tankery to his right. 3 receivers on the field. Hands the ball off to Tankery. He tries to go up the middle, and he's taken out by the defensive line of the Panthers. He's going to get a gain of 4. As we look at the starting offensive line for the Redlands, look at Ted Parker, number 81, tied in, a big target for Russell and this offense for the Bulldogs.
This is such a good offensive line, only allowed 10 sacks so far this year.
Throws a screen out left, cuts up the field, and he's going to be taken out at the 30. That was number 18, Cole Blackburn for the Bulldogs. Has 314 yards on the season with 31 receptions. He'll be one of the go-to receivers for the Bulldogs tonight. Bulldogs takes the snap. Russell looks to his right, fares some pressure, overthrows his intended receiver, which was Blackburn. Chapman got some pressure right into Russell's face, and he panicked.
That's right. They need to win that battle in the trenches. If they can hurry up Russell, he's not going to be able to run anywhere, and he's going to be too panicked to make a good pass.
Russell's very good when he has time from his line, but if you can pressure him, he does panic and does throw some crazy balls sometimes. Has 6 interceptions on the year. Russell in the gun still. Fakes the handoff, takes it himself, but he's stopped nothing more than 2 yards, 3 yards as he reaches the 35-yard line.
And there we go. That defensive line for the Panthers really stepping up and getting that tackle. It's going to bring up 3rd and 6.
3rd and 6, the first test for the Chapman Panthers tonight. Let's see if they can get the Bulldogs off the field and get that offense, who looked very good in that first possession, on the field.
And here we go. It's number 59. Number 59 for the Panthers. That's Devin Ray with the tackle.
Russell looks to his left, looks to receiver up the field, has someone right in the middle, and gets crushed by Garrett the Fridge, Freddie Ani. But it's going to be enough for a first down for the Bulldogs. Cole Blackburn will take that hit every single day of the week if it results in a first down.
Freddie Ani just said, "Sit down, son." He was angry that he got that first down.
Like we said, 2 bitter rivals as we look at this replay. Russell looks up the middle, finds Blackburn, but bam, the Fridge is right there.
Knocked down immediately there by Freddie Ani.
That was a run to Tankery for a gain of 3. It's going to bring up 2nd and 7. Chapman leading 7-0 here with 6:50 left in the first quarter. But the Redlands Bulldogs are moving. Both teams run a similar style offense. Most of it is in the shotgun. Russell looks right, has a receiver quick, and it's right out of the hands of his receiver. Incomplete pass to number 1, Alex Andrighetto.
an errant throw there, but Andrighetto really should have had that. He had both hands on that ball, and that would have resulted in the first down, but instead, it's third down now, and once again, they need another play to keep this offense going.
Another third down coming up for the Bulldogs. Were successful on their first third down of this drive. 3rd and 6 from the 48-yard line as the Panthers fans get loud. Russell looks to his right, throws a little fade, has a receiver right there, and that's Andrighetto again. Found a little seam. The Panthers looked to play in a zone defense. He found some space in the zone, and Russell threw a nice dime right in there.
Yeah, Andrighetto just made up for that last drop pass with a beautiful catch right here, and almost gets away from number 33. That's Griffin Lord. Sorry, excuse me. That's Connor Larkin, who made a great tackle in the open field. Connor Larkin also earned academic all-district honors from the
Another
college
handoff
sports.
to Tankry. He's going to run for maybe 4.
Yeah, there's Tankry again. Tankry's not going to wow you with huge runs, but he is almost guaranteed to get you 2, 3, 4 yards every run, and that's what a goal line back is. He will always get you yards.
Looking to break down this front 7 of the Chapman Panthers. 2nd and 6 from the 26-yard line. Russell has 3 receivers, a running back to his right in the gun. Takes the snap, hands the ball off again. Maybe a gain of 1. Look to be Tankry one more time. Tankry, 70 rushes this season for 381 yards and 5 touchdowns. Him and Devin Appleton create a great backfield duo.
Yeah, Tankry also a threat out of the backfield for a pass. He has 411 all-purpose yards so far this year.
3rd and 4. Redlands 2 for 2 already on this drive. He takes the snap. It's the option play. Pitches it to Tankry. He has some space. He cuts upfield. 1 man to beat, and he gets taken down from behind by number 58 of the defense. That's going to be a nice tackle by Miles Ailes.
And there's Tankry again. That West Coast style offense. See the flip there? Very nice flip. And Tankry, there's nobody in sight for him until Ailes gets his hands around him. Number 33, Connor Larkin, also involved in that play.
So again, another 3rd down conversion for the Bulldogs. 3 for 3 on this drive. Chapman's got to do something to get this offense off the field. 1st and goal now from the 7. And run that got nowhere. Tankry with only maybe a gain of 1. As we saw Paul Avila in there. Spelling Russell at the quarterback position. Paul Avila is no slouch himself. Hasn't had as much playing time as Russell, but he's only 14 for 25 with 160 yards and a touchdown. That's very, very successful.
And Tankry's actually coming out in this goal line situation. I'm not exactly sure what the Redlands offense is trying to do right now.
Cole Blackburn catches the ball, and he's going to find the end zone. That's a touchdown for the Redlands Bulldogs, and they're a point after from tying this game up. An impressive drive by the Bulldogs right there.
Yeah, very different than the Chapman drive, which I believe had no 3rd downs or maybe just 1. But they were able to convert all 3 3rd down opportunities this drive.
We see Avila finds Cole Blackburn, runs a little out, breaks the tackle, dives across the goal line for the touchdown. Now, Redlands showing off the unique point after style, but they audible back into the traditional PAT. Sean Murray on to attempt. Snap good, kick up, and that's good. And we are tied here at Wilson Field. 2 very good drives by both teams to open up the game. And that's taken up most of this time as there's 3:40 left in the first. Chapman 7, Redlands 7.
And Sean Murray actually broke the school record last game with a 54-yard field goal against Whittier. As we look at the replay here, just a great well, here's the thing. The extension from Blackburn is really what made it there. Without that, he's probably stopped at the 1.
It's a missed tackle, played a huge part in that touchdown for the Redlands. You can't do that, especially in a game as big as this one. Both teams coming back onto the field again. Weinstein and Kelly deep to receive for the Panthers. And here's the kickoff. Little pooch kick. Finds some space, ball bouncing around. Devin Colley comes up and picks it up just short of the 25-yard line. So trying to stay away from the kick returners of Chapman, we both know are very dangerous.
That's been a common theme for teams that have been playing Chapman. They know that Kelly and Weinstein are both very effective returners.
And here's some facts about the Redlands Bulldogs. They're located in Redlands, California. Founded in 1907, 4,500 students. Their mascot is a bulldog named Thurber. Note alumni Michael Corona, Jared Hammond, and H.R. Hiddleman.
Thurber, quite a name for a bulldog, isn't it?
Great name for a bulldog, if you're asking me. The Panthers bring their offense back onto the field in that Wildcat formation again with Craddock. McKibbins to his left. Hands the ball off to McKibbins. He bounces right, bounces up the field again, has nowhere to go, and is taken down by the Redlands defense. That was number 95, Adrian Rodriguez, who's been a thorn in the side of the Panthers so far tonight.
That's absolutely right. He has had his eye on McKibbins all night so far. And McKibbins tried as hard as he could to find his way around that defensive line, who won the battle that time, but to no avail.
Chavez back in the game. Hands the ball off to McKibbins. He cuts upfield, but he has nowhere to go. He's only going to get 1 or maybe 2 yards on that run. The Redlands defense stepping up in the trenches as they were overpowered in that first possession.
And this is going to bring up a third down, and we'll see if Chapman can be as effective as Redlands was in their first drive.
Let's see McKibbins tries cutting upfield, but gets taken out by Adrian Rodriguez once more.
Jeremiah McKibbins actually won the award of SCIAC Athlete of the Week a couple weeks back when he broke the school record for rushing yards in the game. He got 265 on just 22 tries.
3rd and 8 from the 27 of Chapman. Chavez takes the snap, hands the ball off to McGrew. McGrew has nothing. An interesting decision to run on 3rd and long. That brings him only up to the 30, and Chapman's going to have to punt.
It's an unfortunate 3 and out after such a great drive first time out. But, you know, we're going to have to see Chapman's defense step up and match this intensity that Redlands has brought on this possession.
Exactly. The defense will have to win this game for Chapman. Both teams are very explosive on offense. Which defense will make that stop first? And Redlands right now has the upper head. William James on to punt. Low snap. Takes up. Fair catch called. That was by Colin Spencer back deep for the Bulldogs.
Just once again, such great special teams defense by the Panthers. Been able to get right on top of the returner and force a fair catch there.
The Bulldogs will begin their second possession at their own 32-yard line. 1:33 left in the first quarter. First quarter went by very quick as both teams' first possessions took a lot of the time off. Avila in the game still. Hands the ball off to Appleton. Appleton bounces it right to the outside, has the edge, has some space, and he gets taken out at the 37-yard line. Appleton had the edge, couldn't get into second gear in the second level of the secondary.
And there we go. That's Drew DeMarco making a tackle again. You can see here he has to run all the way across the field trying to beat Appleton to the edge, and he does. Stops that from becoming a much bigger gain.
Avila fakes the handoffs, throws to his receiver, bouncing around, has nowhere to go, and is taken down by the fridge again. Garrett Frediani takes down Blackburn, who had nowhere to go, and they were just tangoing with each other right there. Here's another 3rd down opportunity coming up for the Bulldogs. They were 3 for 3 in their last possession.
There you see Blackburn, the man who scored the touchdown for these Bulldogs.
Avila takes a snap, looks right, has a man. That's Blackburn, who just sits in the crease of this zone, and that's going to be a first down as he gets all the way up to the 49-yard line.
Blackburn continuing to find holes in this defense. I don't know if they're running zone, but he is finding the soft spot.
Here's the Chapman starting defense. Drew DeMarco, one of our players to walk. Joe Covarrubias, a very solid very solid safety, and Ethan Weinstein, that very explosive quarterback. As this first quarter is going to run down, as we have a tied game. At the end of the first quarter, it's Chapman 7 and the Redlands Bulldogs 7. We'll have more in the second quarter coming up on the Chapman Sports Broadcast Network.
Follow your dreams. Chapman University, a diverse, well-rounded education. Art, dance, music, theater. Empower your future. The performing arts at Chapman University. Create.
Welcome back as we see Avila hand the ball off to Appleton, who has nowhere to go and gets taken down, stiffs arm, and he fumbles the ball goes right out of bounds. Appleton had nowhere to go, then lost the ball after stiff-arming linebacker Rami Hanna, and that ball just rolled into nowhere, out of bounds, and Redlands holds the possession.
So close to forcing a fumble there. And the defense on the very first play in the second quarter looks hungry.
Rami Hanna pokes that ball out. That's going to bring up a 2nd and 16 now for the Bulldogs. Avila still in there for Russell. As he fakes the handoff, looks right, has a man. Andrighetto was wide open, had some space. And there looks to be a penalty on the play.
Personal foul. Roughing the quarterback, number 54. With a hit to the head. 15-yard penalty. First down.
And again,
Rami Hanna feeling a little bit aggressive so far. Already caused a fumble and now a penalty on him. Roughing the quarterback.
Andrighetto had the ball in his hands. If he catches that, he may have some space if he could beat out Connor Larkin.
He's already had one huge catch so far, so we can expect him to maybe have another one as well.
Avila in the gun, 4 receivers. Fakes it to screen and gets crushed. A huge hit by number 57, Eddie Favors III. Do not forget the third. As he reminded Avila right there what this Chapman defense is all about.
And there we go. The team is winning inside the trenches. The 11th sack of the year. He gets right past that center and gets to the quarterback, gets to Russell oh so quickly.
Appleton missed his block there. It's delayed handoff to Appleton. He breaks free, has some space up the middle, but he gets taken down by number 58, Miles Ailes, for a gain of 5. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 10 for the Bulldogs.
Appleton seems a little bit disappointed in himself after that fumble and a run that maybe he could have had a few more yards on, but nothing to hang his head on so far.
Avila staying in the gun. Takes the ball, drops back. Looks at receiver to his right, has some space, and it's picked off by Drew DeMarco. Drew DeMarco has some space and gets taken down. A huge pick by the senior corner. He was one of our players to watch, and he comes up big right there with an interception.
Drew DeMarco, what a player. Just reads the quarterback's eyes. The senior out of Jesuit. He's 5'10", but he plays much, much bigger than that.
Drew DeMarco is that leader on that defense, and he shows you why. Makes that huge play on the 3rd and 10. And right there, Chapman's up 1 on the turnover battle so far.
So fitting that Drew DeMarco right here, their first 3rd down that isn't completed is an interception by such a great player. It's unfortunate he wasn't able to return that a little more.
McKibbins takes it to his right, cuts up the field. Still bouncing around, and he gets pushed down for maybe a gain of 3 with forward progress. Chapman using the edge a lot on their rushes, having their running backs cut out field if they see so.
And McKibbins was not seeing anything from his offensive line there, which is fine, but they really need to start opening holes if that's how they draw it up.
Besides that first possession, this offensive line is losing that battle in the trenches right now.
Yeah, although they haven't given up a sack, lots of tackles for losses and lots of runs held to just 1 or 2 yards.
Chavez takes the snap, hands the ball off to McKibbins again, and he's going to rush for another 3-yard gains. That's going to bring up a 3rd and short for the Panthers.
Going back to the interception, we see Drew DeMarco. He reads the quarterback's eyes. He was going for Andrighetto again. But Drew DeMarco, such a smart player, knows where the ball is going to be. And such a great interception there.
Chavez trying to get that Redlands D-line to jump early. Looks to the sideline to get the play. Huge 3rd down and 5 right here for the Panthers. Takes the snap, hands the ball off to McKibbins. McKibbins has nowhere to go. Bounces back, switches field, and has a bunch of space, and he has some space. He's cutting up the field. No one man to beat, and he's gone. Jeremiah McKibbins is going to put the Panthers up with an incredible touchdown run. Switching fields after getting no 2 on the left side. Bounces it around to the right side, has some space, and just like that, the Panthers are back on top.
Wow. All I can say is wow after that run.
That's what Mr. McKibbins can do for this offense. Very explosive player, and we've seen that his entire career here for Chapman.
38 touchdowns on his career, a school record. It looks like he's gonna extend that by a lot more tonight. Already has 2 tonight.
So we see McKibbins gets shut down on the left side, switches field, finds a seam on the right by the sideline. 1 man to beat, and he's gone. And just like that, the Panthers are up as Lucas Alfonso tacks on the extra point, and the Panthers are up 14-7 with 11:47 left in the 2nd quarter.
Such great vision from McKibbins there.
All right, Chapman 14, Redlands 7. We'll have more on the Chapman Sports Broadcast Network coming up next. And the kick is up. Devin Appleton back to receive, takes it at the 1. Follows his blocker, has some space, cuts to the outside, cuts back inside. He's going to be taken down at the 30-yard line. So that's where Redlands will start for their first possession of the 2nd quarter.
His first real opportunity to get a return there, and proves why he's such a dangerous returner. Devin Appleton, the number 2 running back on this Redlands team. But such a dangerous kickoff returner and punt returner for that matter.
Looks like Paul Avila is staying in the game. Something must be wrong with Kevin Russell. This Paul Avila, the backup QB, is seeing some time. He's the one that threw his first interception of the season on that last possession to Drew DeMarco. Fakes the handoff, throws a screen to the left. That's Cole Blackburn again. Blackburn has no space. It's taken out by the fridge with some help by Ethan Weinstein for a gain of 5.
And there's Cole Blackburn again. Just seems to be everywhere on this Chapman field, continuing to find holes in that defense and just gaining yards after yards after yards.
Very clear to see that he is the go-to receiver now for this Bulldogs team.
And there we see a great tackle from the Fridge and Weinstein.
Pass out to the left is going to be good enough for a first down. That was number 3, Oshio Hasegawa. As the Bulldogs move the chains here.
Hasagawa with his first catch of the game. Almost a first down. He looked to make a big play, a big conversion, and we'll see if he can get it done here.
Actually, they just ruled it was enough for the first down, so that's going to give the Bulldogs another set of downs. Hand the ball off to Tankery. Tankery runs up the middle and stopped, but a gain of 5 for the running back.
And there's Tankery again getting a few yards, 5 yards for that matter. There he is, just getting barely enough to keep this offense going. And that's what this offense does. It just wears down the opposing defense.
Give him enough touches. He will hit that home run at some point during this game. 2nd and 5. Another handoff to Tankery. He has some space, and here he is. Has some space up the middle, and he's taken out after a huge run for the Bulldogs. The Bulldogs offensive line spread the middle wide open, and Tankery had some space, and there we go. I told you, hits the home run.
Talk about timing. Here we see the offensive line really opening a hole up, and there's really nobody in sight for him until number 43, Lorenzo Marks, the safety, gets an arm on him.
Looks to be a false start on the Bulldogs. Actually timeout by the Panthers. Alrighty, we're gonna head it down to Nikki Lorenzen on the sideline, who has a little bit on Connor Larkin. Nikki?
Bring the action.
When you have this in the club, you're gonna take 10 to out. You're gonna take 10 to out. You're gonna take 10 to out. When we open the club.
All right, we seem to be having some technical difficulties. We'll get that story on Connor Larkin, a very interesting prospect on this Panthers defense, one of the big leaders, a two-sport athlete here at Chapman University.
He's very smart in the classroom as well, from what I've heard.
All right, as the Panthers defense make their way back onto the field. Redlands is driving after that long run by Tankery. Tankery, the senior, standing at 5'10", 205, will wear down this D-line. Be interesting to see how that progresses over the game. All right, we're going to go try it back again for Nikki. Nikki, what do you have for us? Alrighty, is the first down run right there by number 8, Curtis Tankery.
Just some more technical difficulties going on. We'll look to get that fixed and look to get Nikki's story out in the air.
Alex Rory, number 99, on the tackle. Bringing up a 2nd and 6 for the Bulldogs. Avila takes a snap, throws a little out, and a nice jump the route by Ethan Weinstein. Read the quarterback's eyes. That's going to be an incomplete pass, bringing up 3rd down and 6.
Yeah, Avila made a very nice pass. As you can see here, it's to the back shoulder to stop Weinstein from getting the interception. But Weinstein knows what he's doing. He knows that he needs to stop that receiver from catching the ball and does so very nicely.
Weinstein feeling some confidence right now. Wants them to keep throwing to me. These Chapman DBs are very confident in what they do and believe they can stop any receivers in the country. As Avila takes a step back, throws the receiver over his head, and again, Weinstein right there with the coverage, and he gets a huge hit on number 5, Kevin Johnson. And that's going to bring up 4th down for the Bulldogs. Looks like they're keeping the offense on the field.
Here we can see the pass and the hit from Weinstein again. Weinstein thought he was going to catch that ball, I bet, so he knew he had to hit him hard, or else he was going to keep that ball.
After some delegation, Redlands decides to bring on their kicker, Sean Murray, out to attempt a 43-yarder. It's a good snap. The kick is up, and it's a line drive right into the Chapman line. Devin Kelly picks it up, and he has some blockers in front of him. He has some speed and momentum. A huge hit, a huge block as Devin Kelly gets taken down.
A great from behind tackle there by the Redlands special teams.
A huge hit by number 99, Alex Rory, right there to spring that return.
Alex Rory, known for instilling fear in opposing teams.
As we see the kick, a line drive right into the back of the offensive line. Chapman saying, get away, but Devin Kelly picks it up and said, this ball is mine, boys. Gets his blockers in front of him. Has some space, looks to go. And right there, the top of your screen just saw the last part of that hit.
Just some great vision, and if it wasn't for that great tackle getting his feet, then we could have really seen him go all the way.
And a Redlands players ran to the Chapman sideline and got in Coach Bob Owen's face.
We also have Jason Candler on the field, number 92 for this Redlands team.
Credit, it was a big hit and a blindside hit, but from everything we saw, it looked to be numbers. Like we said, this is a huge rivalry game. These teams don't like each other. They're both revved up here.
There is no flag on the play. The hit is to the chest.
Like I said, I thought that block was right to the numbers. As we see it here one more time as Devin Kelly comes out of nowhere to get the ball, switches field to the left side. The left side of your screen, you're going to see this block. Boom, right there. Right in the chest. Clean to me, clean to the refs. Redlands fans are not happy, but Chapman gets the ball. 1st and 10.
It was clean, hard, and looked nasty, and that's what Rory is known for.
Redlands sidelines and fans not happy. Chapman, however, they're loving it. Referee warning the sideline of Redlands. Chavez out there again in the gun with McGrew to his right. Fakes the handoff, rolls right, has a receiver. That's number 22, Diano Pachote. In the flats right there, and a solid gain of 2.
Yeah, Pachot with his first reception of the game. Just a great screen pass. Nobody was picking him up until he got the ball, of course. He is a very strong fullback, strong running back coming out of the backfield there.
Pachot found some space and picks up a solid 3-yard gain right here as you see Chavez rolls to his right. Pachot by himself in the flat. That's the fullback doing a fullback job right there. As Chavez fakes the handoff again to McGrew, looking deep downfield. Has a receiver as Sean Myers, and Myers is going to catch the ball at the 40-yard line. Broke free from the defense right there.
If you give Sean Myers a chance, he will come down with it, as he always does. Sean Myers there after that big play, just looking calm and collected, because that's the usual for him.
That was number 32, Aaron Mandel, on the coverage. Let's face it, nobody in the SCIAC conference can guard Sean Myers when he's at his top of his game.
Sean Myers is like Calvin Johnson, because you just can't guard him. Well, in the SCIAC at least. Shouldn't compare anybody to Calvin Johnson.
Chavez hands the ball up to McKibbins again, but he's stopped at the line, but keeps those legs going forward and gains an extra 2. And now the refs are going to break it up, get these fans off the pile.
And there we see McKibbins again, just pushing forward when he should only gain 1 or 2, just able to push forward and gain a few extra yards.
Arm tackles will not take this kid down.
He's just too strong, too talented in too many ways.
2nd and 7 here, 7 minutes left in the first half. Chapman 14, Redlands 7. And looks to be some movement on the front line. Redlands pointing at Chapman.
Prior to snap. False start. Offense, number 63. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
That was Pablo Yurtiz with the false start. Now a 2nd down and 12 for the Panthers. So they're driving again in this first half. McGrew in motion. Joins Hands the ball off to McKibbins. McKibbins is met at the line by a gang of Redlands defenders. And right there, the Redlands Bulldogs won the battle in the trenches.
Yeah, that defensive line just saw that play coming all the way and jumped on that as quick as possible.
It's going to be up a 3rd and long for the Panthers.
And there you can see that left side of the offensive line, that side that's supposed to be so strong for McKibbins, unable to stop the onslaught of 4 or 5 rushers from the Redlands Bulldogs.
First man there again is Adrian Rodriguez, as you see. Jeremiah already with 16 attempts and 109 yards. Empty backfield here for 3rd and long. Andrew Chavez in the gun. 5 receivers set. Chavez drops back, looks left, looks to his right, has some pressure as the pocket collapses, and he is taken down for a sack. And the Bulldogs defense comes up huge on 3rd down, but there is a flag.
That defensive line just showcased why they're one of the best when they can be. 2 straight plays for losses of yards.
Offense, number 73. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
Holding on the offense by Jacob Spear. Decline. Chapman's going to have to punt as William James and his special teams unit comes onto the field.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, especially after 2 drives of, well, moving the ball very, very well. It's always unfortunate when Chapman doesn't score for us, though.
Colin Spencer back deep to receive for Redlands.
William James going to try to pin the Redlands offense from inside the 20.
Good snap. James kicks it. Ball bounces at the 18 and rolls, and that's going to take a Chapman bounce all the way to the 8-yard line, and that's where the Redlands Bulldogs are going to start their possession. A good punt by William James right there. Redlands looking to make one late drive here with 5:11 remaining in the first half. Chapman holding a 7-point lead. Both teams are hit or miss on their possessions.
That's absolutely right. We've seen 3-and-outs from both teams, but we've seen very good sustained drives from both teams as well. Thus the 7-14 score.
Russell's back in now as he fakes the handoff and powers his way up the middle, but is taken down by that Chapman defensive line.
Well done by Chapman's defensive line to recognize that Avila is not in anymore. You have Russell, a very good running quarterback, and their defensive line did not give in and was able to tackle Russell before he could break through for some big yardage.
Miles Ailes there once again alongside Adam O'Shea with the tackle. Kevin Russell 3 for 5 so far tonight's game, 37 yards passing. Avila was the one doing a lot of the passing while he was in. Fakes the handoff, rolls right, has a receiver. Outstretch of his receiver, and that's going to be a dropped ball. He was looking for Kevin Johnson, but threw it a little too far outside. It's going to be an incomplete pass.
Russell seems a little nervous right now. Wasn't able to hit his receiver there, wasn't able to bounce outside and get some yardage on the first play. Here we see he's wide open, but he just can't get the ball to his receiver.
No defender within 5 yards and just overleads his receiver. He's going to bring up a 3rd and 10 now. Takes the snap. Russell looking to his left. Looks deep, throws off his back foot. He has Cole Blackburn wide open, but the ball is right out of the reach of Blackburn. And the Chapman defense comes out 3-and-out.
If Russell had given Blackburn a chance to make that catch, Blackburn comes down with that 90% of the time. So really just not a great drive for Russell. Look for him to bounce back in the next possession.
Blackburn had beaten the defense and was wide open. If that ball's a little more on target, he catches that in stride. He's gone, and this game is probably tied up. Ethan Weinstein and Sean Myers back to receive the punt for the Panthers.
I like this 2 returner set for the Panthers. It really makes it hard for them to kick around them, and they're so dangerous on the return.
Off the side of the foot as Weinstein lets it roll as the ball is down at the 48-yard line. So with 4:13 left in the first half, Chapman leads the Redlands Bulldogs 14-7. We'll have more coming up on the Chapman Sports Broadcast Network.
Follow your dreams. Chapman University. History, philosophy, peace studies, languages. study abroad, and explore the world. Become a global citizen. The Wilkinson College at Chapman University. Invest your humanity. Lead.
Chavez takes the snap and hands the ball, fakes the handoff to, and he has a receiver wide open. That's going to be Devin Kelly, and Devin Kelly catches the ball after the tip-off by Colin Spencer. Colin Spencer had that ball in his hands for the interception, tips off, Devin Kelly stays with it, and Chapman is in the red zone.
Well, I guess Chapman didn't really let Redlands D get going. That's a stake in the heart for the Redlands defense. We see the pass attempt here. Chavez sees his man, underthrown a little bit, and just the concentration from Kelly. Being able to stay with that ball and still come up with the grab and give Chapman a nice opportunity from inside the red zone.
They're now at the 16-yard line. The clock's ticking down in this first half. Plenty of time for Chapman. McGrew goes motions to the backfield. Hand off to McKibbins. McKibbins has some stays up the field, bounces off a tackle, and gets 3 more yards at the initial point of contact. And that's what Jeremiah McKibbins does. McKibbins, go McKibbins.
Jeremiah McKibbins, more like Jeremiah give him more yards. Honestly, he's bouncing off defenders, moving his legs, and really getting extra yards where he shouldn't be.
Keeps those legs driving and helping this Chapman offense out. As a 2nd and 3 now. McKibbins in the backfield with Chavez. McGrew motions once more. Hands the ball off McKibbins again. Gets stopped but bounces out to the left. And again, McKibbins keeps those legs going. And we might have enough for a first down. Incredible running by number 9 right there.
Jeremiah McKibbins, only 5'7", 190, but he is playing like he is 6'4", 330 or something. He's just bouncing off these Redlands defenders, as you can see here, moves around his offensive line and just takes number 49 on Redlands. That's Justin Lance, just takes him for a ride.
Chavez with his first snap under center right here. He quarterback sneaks, and that's going to be enough for a first down. McKibbins was a little bit short on the previous run. But right there, that's going to move the chains, and that's going to be a 1st and goal for the Panthers. With 2:18 left in this first half. Panthers are once again driving.
And Chapman's offensive line really won the battle there. They knew that their quarterback needed 3 yards, so they needed to push there, and they earned that first down right now.
Chapman can't settle for the field goal right here. They need to punch this ball into the end zone and look to take a 2-score lead going into the halftime. It's Chavez in the gun once more. 2 tight end set. Hands ball off to McKibbins to the left. McKibbins bounces up the field, and he's going to be taken out just short of the goal line. But again, McKibbins reading that field, sees some open space, makes that cut, drives his way up the field.
And once again, that's Lance stopping him at the 1-yard line. Another goal line stand for this Redlands defense. Expect McKibbins or McGrew to get the ball back. You see the run here. He tries to make those men miss, but just too many of them. You can't make them all miss. Not even the greatness of McKibbins can do that.
So 2nd and goal from the 1. Chavez under center once more. Pachote as the fullback. Pitch to McKibbins. McKibbins is stopped. Did he reach across the line? We're waiting for the goal. Waiting for the signal. No, he did not cross the goal line. It's going to be a 3rd and goal coming up for the Panthers.
Just inches away. McKibbins really wants that touchdown, but the Redlands defense does not want him to have that touchdown. A little bit more, apparently.
We've reached under a minute left in this first half. McKibbins looking for that 3rd touchdown. As you see, Chavez pitch the ball back to McKibbins. A straight run up the middle, a power blast, but taken off by the Redlands defense. That was Nick Castro with the tackle. McKibbins again takes a huge leap. Air McKibbins once more, and that's going to be a touchdown for the Panthers. McKibbins tallies his 3rd touchdown in this first half. And what do you know? Air McKibbins makes its way back into the game.
Yeah, that first touchdown was almost identical, just jumping over that offensive line. He has 3 touchdowns now, 123 yards, has just looked so solid in this first half, and is actually pretty close to on pace to breaking his record for rushing yards in the game a couple weeks ago.
Lucas Alfonso on to attempt the point after. Sean Myers is the holder. Snap good, kick is up. And that is good. And Chapman leads 21-7 here in the first half.
Lucas Alfonso, such a reliable kicker. Doesn't matter how many hands are in the way of the ball, Lucas Alfonso will find a way to get that point after.
So we talked about winning the battle in the trenches. Good defensive line for Redlands, not great. Chapman knows that they run the ball a lot, and they're winning that battle right now.
That's absolutely right. Devin Appleton and Curtis Tankery have just not been able to get going except for that one big run by Tankery. Here we see Bob Owens just created a great defensive game plan for this Redlands team. There you see it, 50-35. Most wins ever by a Chapman coach. Great coach, Chapman legend.
Appleton and Guglielmana back to receive for Redlands. Lucas Alfonso kick is up. Line drive kick, little pooch kick, taken by Guglielmana. He has some trouble with it. Chapman's right there, but he has some space now. Takes it to the right side and a nice tackle. A solid tackle by number 57. Eddie Favors the third. Do not forget the third.
Appleton seemed to have maybe tripped him up there, but yes, that is all because of the third. The third applying the pressure and knocking down Appleton.
Interesting to see if Redlands will just run this clock out, maybe take a knee, as there's only 21 seconds left in this first half.
I wouldn't expect that. I expect Curtis Tankery or Devin Appleton to get the ball and perhaps make a huge run and try to get a touchdown and bring this game within one score.
That is the thing with these running backs. You can decide to run the ball out, run the timeout, but they can break a tackle, and they're one tackle away from finding that end zone. As Russell's back in there. Fakes the handoff, looks to pass, escapes some pressure, has a receiver right there. That's Andrighetto once more, stepping out at the 30-yard line. So they're looking to move their way down the field.
It looks like they are, and there we see Kevin Russell really escaping pressure, seeing that West Coast style at its best and finding the open man, extending that play, and keeping the drive alive. And especially since Andrighetto was able to get out of bounds, the clock must stop, and they get another chance for a big play.
Chapman playing in a nickel package, 5 DBs on the field, looking to prevent anything deep. As Russell delayed handoff to Tankery. Tankery takes the ball, cannot get out of bounds, and again, Eddie Favors the third. And what can't you forget?
The third.
And Eddie Favors once again making his name felt, as looks like the clock is about to run out on this first half. Impressive first half by the Chapman Panthers in this huge rivalry game. Chapman, 3 impressive possessions to get their points on the board. A defensive battle we thought right away after those first 2 possessions, but it looks like Chapman's going to take a strong hold on this lead going into the halftime, 21-7. Redlands will receive the start of the second half.
And you're absolutely right. The third has made his mark on defense. McKibbins has made his mark on offense. And Drew DeMarco with a big interception to stop that drive by the Redlands offense.
All righty. And we're going to head down to the sideline where Nikki Lorenzen has Coach Bob Owens. Nikki, take it away.
Just let me know when you're ready. Hi, guys. We're down here on the field with Coach Bob Owens. Coach Owens, you've had so many triumphs with your players this season. Jeremiah McKibbins is breaking records off the charts. Ethan Weinstein has now become the only kick returner in all of SCIAC to have a touchdown on his record. And now Connor Larkin has been given an all-district academic honor. Do you think that this team has become a SCIAC record-winning machine?
Boy, that's a hard question because I'm so involved in this game right now. It's kind of hard to walk away from the first half of this game battling a real strong Redlands football team. But, you know, in regard to our guys, they're very deserving of what is going on. Connor's done an outstanding job in the classroom, and so how exciting is that for him? Jeremiah, superb to be able to put his name in the record book with all the guys that have done the things that they've done. And certainly, you know, just as a team, you know, some of the things that our guys are doing, I just think it's incredible. But, you know, my main focus is on the second half. If I can get the second half done and we can play as hard in the second half as we played in the first half, we'll have a great interview at the end of the game.
And if we win this game and next week's game, there's still a possibility of us taking third in SCIAC. Do you think that's a possibility?
Absolutely. And, you know, what's exciting for us is that one game at a time. We need to win this game, but then if we win this game and then win next game, what a great way to close out.
Definitely. Thank you so much. Back to you guys. Thanks.
Thanks, Nikki. Chapman leads 21-7, and we'll come back here on the Chapman Sports Broadcast Network coming up after the break.
Stand up for what's right. Chapman University. Passion, perseverance, teamwork, integrity. Create value in the world. The School of Law at Chapman University. Lead.
Welcome back to Ernie Chapman Stadium, where the Chapman Panthers lead 21-7 at halftime. And let me tell you, it was a very entertaining first half. We talked about the Battle of the Trenches, and Chapman won the Battle of the Trenches so far. Jeremiah McKibben scoring 3 rushing touchdowns in the first half. Let's take a look at the first half highlights.
So the first thing we got here is the pass to Cole Blackburn for Redlands TD. Just a great extension. And after that, the pass to Andre Ghetto, my apologies. That was a very big play for Chapman. Next, we got the interception by Drew DeMarco. Stopped a very strong Redlands drive. Really a turning point in that game. Here we got McKibbins, very close to scoring a touchdown. Led them to a touchdown that drive. And once again, this is the run of the night. McKibbins goes left, bounces back around to the right, and just he is gone. Nobody within sight, just a great run from McKibbins. That's been the story all night. And there we go with the Chapman defensive line really getting it done. A blocked kick and a sack. And here's the return from Devin Calley. The hit from Rory was really a huge point, almost causes a penalty, but we found out it was clean. And if it hadn't been for that tackle from behind, it would have been a huge game. And this amazing catch from Devin Kelly. Devin Kelly doing it on special teams and with his hands.
All right, as we're going to take a look at the first half summary, the team comparison between Chapman and Redlands. Passing yards about even, but look at the rushing yards, 133-71. Chapman really controlled the game on the ground. 15.6 yards per play to Redlands' 8.4, and the turnover battle. Chapman got that interception from Drew DeMarco. Kind of changed the game. Redlands was driving. Interception by DeMarco wins the game. All right, we're going to have a lot more coming up after the break. We'll have the kickoff to start the second half. That and a lot more on the Chapman Sports Broadcast Network.
Follow your dreams. Chapman University. Chemistry, physics, computational science, biology. Start doing research in your first year. Soar to new heights. The Schmidt College of Science at Chapman University. Explore.
Ooh, those pretzels look mighty tasty, but not as tasty as the Chapman offense must have looked to Bob Owens in that first half.
Oh yeah, Jeremiah McKibbins was running all over this Redlands defense. And you could tell in that interview that we had with Nikki, Coach Bob Owens was pretty happy with the result, but be much happier if he can get the W at the end of the day.
Yeah. When it comes down to it, really, the score in the second half is going to determine this game. It's still a close game, only 2 possessions.
All right, Redlands will receive to start the second half. Back deep for the Bulldogs is number 6, Devin Appleton, and number 27, Jacob Guglielmana. Lucas Alfonso is doing the kicking duties. And the kick is up, and we are underway here in the second half. Appleton receives it at his 2, follows his blockers up the middle, has some space, and he's going. He's going to cross the 45, and he fumbles the ball, and it's picked up right away by the Chapman defense. That is the second ball we've seen Appleton just fumble right away. And that was number 20, Jack Colin, picking that ball up. And wow, what a way to start the second half of the Chapman Panthers.
You're absolutely right. We talked, as one of our keys to the game was making sure Redlands defense doesn't cause any fumbles, but here you can see that it's Chapman who's causing the fumbles. This looked like it was going to be an amazing run by Devin Appleton, but he just cannot hang on, and a very good recovery by the Chapman team.
Bo Keeve, the one to take that ball out of the hands of Appleton, the freshman from San Rafael, California. Chapman fans are loving that one right away to start the second half. As Chavez starts out in the gun, Pichote to his right, hands the ball off to McKibbins. McKibbins has some space up the middle, breaks through 2 defenders, and he's going to run for 7 yards.
He's just so slippery. He can beat you with the strength in his legs, and he can beat you with his agility as well. Just squeezing in between those 2 defenders to gain an extra 2 or 3 yards.
Finds that hole and zooms right through the safeties of the Bulldogs. McKibbins going McKibbins. Brings up a 2nd and 3 for the Panthers. The 38-yard line. Chavez takes the ball, hands the ball off. McKibbins has nowhere to go, reverses field again. Cuts upfield and is tackled. It's going to be a loss of 1. Could have been a lot worse. And there is some laundry on the field. Interesting to see what this call is.
Offense, number 22. It's 10-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Another holding by Diano Pichote. It's a 2nd holding call for the Panthers. Not going to make Bob Owens happy right there if you're committing stupid penalties.
Yeah, Pichote just unable to resist the urge to hold. We'll be able to see, we see the hold right there. It stops the Redlands defender from making that tackle. And you really just can't make penalties like that. Instead of a 3rd and much shorter, it is now 2nd and very long.
It's going to be 2nd and 13. Chavez takes the snap, hands the ball off to McKibbins. McKibbins cuts up the field, got nothing going for him. He's going to be stopped for just about a gain of 2. That tackle was made by number 42, Jalen Devine. Going to bring up a 3rd and long for the Panthers here to start the second half.
Looks like McKibbins is going to be coming out. Looks like Chavez is going to have to make a very nice pass here, but McGrew is still in the backfield.
Let's see what the Panthers do here. 3rd and 11. Chavez takes the snap. Screen to McGrew in the flats. McGrew has some space, gets to the sideline, but he's taken out at the 42, and another flag on the play. The design screen to McGrew right there in the flats. But again, some yellow on the field, and it looks to be against Chapman once again.
Holding. Offense, number 8. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
Austin Schaefer with the penalty right there.
Let's see if we can see the hold on this replay. McGrew has some open field in front of him. And McGrew just unable to get that 1st down. We see the hold right there from Schaefer. And that's 2 penalties on 2 consecutive plays right there.
Brings up a 4th and 4, and Bob Owens is keeping his offense on the field.
I like this play here. Very short distance. It's at a place where maybe your kicker can't get it, but your punter shouldn't be able to punt from this close.
Chavez under center. Looks like they were just going to try to get the Bulldogs to jump off sides. They'll take the delay of game penalty, and it looks like they will punt. So Bob Owens trying to sneak his way into a 1st down. They'll settle for the field position battle. And if William James can pin this Bulldogs offense within the 20, it'll be a good start for that.
And that's the benefit of being up by 2 scores, is that you don't have to do these risky plays. You can just afford to let your defense win this game for you.
5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
So William James will come onto the field to punt. He will be receiving it at his 41-yard. And Redlands gets a sideline warning. They have been chirping all game, and their head coach is not happy with that decision.
Ever since that big hit from Rory on the return by Kelly, just the Redlands sideline and their fans have not been happy.
Colin Spencer back deep to receive for the Bulldogs. And movement again. Redlands pointing that is it on Chapman. Chapman's pointing that it's on Redlands. A little game of tug of war going on right now with the flags.
This is just insane. 3 penalties on 4 plays. Just remember how the first half started with a bunch of penalties from Redlands? Well, it looks like this half is getting started off with Chapman penalties coming left and right.
Delay a game for disconcerting signals against the defense. That's a 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
So Redlands trying to play some mind games with the Panthers, and they get called for it.
I can say with absolute certainty, I have never heard that called before.
100% right there with you. I did not know that was a thing. Well, Chapman's back to where they originally were for a 4th down punt. And here's the low snap. James trying to pin it within the 20. Spencer doesn't fair catch and gets taken out right at the 12-yard line. That's where the Bulldogs will start their possession. As we take a look at SCIAC scores around the league. Laverne put up 49 on Pomona. Pittsburgh taking that win. Claremont Muscripps takes a huge beating to Whittier. Those games are final. Cal Lutheran battling it out with Oxnard right now, 6-6. So very interesting scores.
And that last game is a game that Chapman really needs to watch, as those 2 teams are all within 1 game of the 2 teams playing here today, Redlands and Chapman.
Agreed right there. So Russell brings his offense out onto the field at the 12. Fakes the handoff, fires it quick to a receiver. That was number 3, Yoshia Hasagawa, for a short gain.
Hasagawa with his 2nd catch of the game.
It's going to bring up 2nd down and 4 for the Bulldogs offense.
We take a look at Appleton, the man who made that costly fumble earlier in the half.
Appleton finds some space but gets his way across to the 23-yard line, and that's going to be a 1st down. We've had a very eventful start of the 2nd half right away. Appleton fumbles on the kickoff return. Penalties going back and forth. Mind games by Redlands, mind games by Chapman. Very interesting start to this 2nd half.
You're absolutely right, and you can see the displeasure in the Redlands fans. They're not very happy with how this game has gone so far.
Russell rolls right, looking for a receiver, has some time, drops back, looking deep, overthrown his receiver, and guess who was there again? Drew DeMarco. There is a flag on the play. Looks to be in the area of holding, but we'll wait to see what the refs call.
It is on the offense.
Is it a block below the waist? It's going to repeat 1st down. Going to be a 1st and 20 now. As you see, Russell has some time, plants that back foot, looks downfield, overthrows his receiver. Drew DeMarco almost makes a play again, looking for his 2nd interception of the night.
And it was Chapman defensive lineman Rami Hanna who took the blunt part of that block below the waist there.
Russell looks to his left, finds a receiver, and a nice 4-yard out. Kevin Johnson with the reception and a huge hit by Lorenzo Marks, and he was joined there by Ethan Weinstein.
All of Chapman's secondary so far this game has just looked on top of their game, making tackles, making sure that whoever they're guarding does not get the yards that they deserve.
Bringing up a 2nd and 16. Russell drops back, has a receiver down the middle. Has a receiver, it's Kevin Johnson again. He's just short of the 1st down. Rami Hanna on the coverage.
And Kevin Johnson's first 2 catches in this game have been big ones. if Redlands wants to start making a comeback, it's going to have to start on this drive, and Kevin Johnson doing everything he can to make sure that that happens.
So a 3rd and short coming up for the Bulldogs. Russell will go under center for his first snap of the game. Hand the ball off to Tankery, and he's going to get across the 35 for a Bulldogs first down.
Tankery's first run of this half. Very well done. He knows where those chains are. He's so smart as a running back. He knows where he has to get to, and he got past it even.
10:15 left in this third quarter. Chapman still holding a 2-score lead over the Bulldogs, as the intensity of this game is heating up. Russell takes the snap, goes to the pitch play, has some space, takes it himself up the middle. He's going to get nowhere, maybe 2 yards on that run.
Russell saw he had something and he took it. And looks like he thought Tankery wouldn't have gotten this far. Although Chapman's defensive line did a very good job of not falling for the pitch and making sure they stayed with the quarterback.
Yeah.
Such a great job of making sure they knew who was carrying the ball.
Chapman stayed home with their assignments and kept it to a 2-yard gain. Second down now. Russell fakes the handoff, has a receiver right there. Andrighetto again, bobbling it, but makes the catch. He's finding some space in that defense, beating those DBs.
Andrighetto only 3 receptions, but they have been big ones, haven't they? He had 32 yards before the half started, and one of them was 22 yards. So he's had a catch of 22, a catch of 10, and now this big one too.
Redlands in Chapman territory now. Russell fakes the handoff, throws it out wide to Blackburn, but right there, Lorenzo Marks misses his tackle, and Blackburn has some space, and he's going to take it across the 30-yard line down to the 26. Lorenzo Marks was right there to make that initial tackle. Blackburn broke free, got some extra yardage.
And that might be the first missed tackle by a Chapman secondary player this entire game. Luckily, his fellow secondary mate, cornerback Ethan Weinstein, was there to pick him up.
Blackburn hands the ball off, but was met right there by a gang of Chapman defensive linemen.
And there they are, winning those trench battles. That's been the most evident key to the game so far, is that Chapman's defensive line has looked superb.
Connor Kennedy with the run right there. He's in the backfield now with Curtis Tankery.
And that's not a good way to get greeted for your first run of the game, to be just swallowed up by 3 Chapman defensive linemen.
Ben Waters with the initial tackle right there. Tankery goes out in motion to the left, hits the screen in the flat. Tankery has some space, follows his blocker right there, and runs right out of bounds at the 21-yard line.
Ethan Weinstein will get the tackle on that one, but it was more just Tankery running into him than anything.
Tankery with the assist for Weinstein's tackles. Tankery goes out in motion to the left, catches that ball, moves forward, squares his shoulders, and runs right into Weinstein. Now, Pat Weinstein's stats, it may not feel good in the morning, but you got to do what you got to do.
And Hasegawa really providing a great block, just Tankery could not take advantage that time.
3rd and 4 now, the option play again. Russell falls back and has a receiver out there. That's Andrighetto, and Andrighetto drops the ball.
That's been the case for Andrighetto today, just either huge plays or dropped passes. Super bipolar when it comes to his hands.
Connor Larkin there with the contact to force Andrighetto to drop that ball, bringing up a 4th and 4. And it looks like the Bulldogs offense is staying onto the field.
As you can see at the beginning of this play, it looked like it was going to be a run play, but they fooled the entire defense.
Russell fakes the handoff, has some pressure, breaks the pressure and has some space. He's going to get the first down. See how far he goes, and he takes a weird slide, and there's going to be a flag.
That was indeed a very weird slide. It is feet first, and you're not allowed to hit the quarterback after he slides feet first, but
I'm willing to argue that he didn't get his legs extended, so he's not technically a defenseless quarterback because he didn't get his legs extended, so that they may take that penalty away.
Well, we'll see what the refs have to call here.
Personal foul against the defense, number 33. Half the distance penalty, first down.
So they indeed deemed it as a hit on a defenseless runner. Quarterbacks are the prized possessions everywhere.
And that's Larkin, who just, I don't like that call there.
I don't like it either. He didn't get his legs extended. He's not sliding.
And still, he was sliding right before Larkin was on top of him. It's not really fair.
If you call option again, pitches it out to Tankery. Tankery beats one tackle, but taken down just short of the goal line. That was number 36, Garrett Frediani.
Great open field tackle there. Tankery is in goal line back for sure. He's known for getting into the end zone from inside 5 yards. And here we see a missed opportunity from number 59, Devin Ray, but Frediani able to clean up the mess and hopefully keep them out of the end zone this possession.
The pitch again. Russell has some space, and he's going to walk into the end zone. That's a touchdown for the Redlands Bulldogs. Kevin Russell, we said he is a rushing quarterback. He rushes his way into the end zone.
You are indeed right. Now I believe he has more rushing touchdowns than any of the running backs on this Redlands team. Just their offensive line, so good. Only allowed 11 sacks so far this year and really creating a huge hole that Russell could get through. And all he needed was 1 yard, and that's what he got.
Very interesting. The Redlands Bulldogs showed us that option attack this possession right there. Pulled it out 3 or 4 times. Hey, it's either boom or bust when it comes to the option. A botched snap and a botched hold, and that's going to be no good. So Redlands having some trouble with their snaps and their holds on their field goals. We already saw a blocked field goal in the first half. Now we see a miscommunication right there.
Yeah, Chapman fans were shouting, block that kick, and they sort of got it right. I mean, this is definitely not the prettiest kick, but it's definitely a plus for the Panthers.
So after that touchdown, Chapman holds a 21-13 lead over Redlands. 7 minutes left in the second quarter. Here it is once more. Fooled our cameraman.
That was number 59, Devin Ray, who got his hands on the ball.
We take a look at the drive summary by that Redlands possession. 8 passing plays, 6 rushing plays, even pretty much. 88 yards is the big thing. They started all the way back on their 12. 14 plays overall. They marched their way down, and now they're technically a touchdown and a 2-point conversion away from tying this game up.
You're absolutely right. Just a very well-balanced, well-executed drive by the Redlands Bulldogs.
Sean Murray on a kick, Devin Kelly and Ethan Weinstein back to receive for the Panthers. Another little pooch kick into nowhere. Devin Kelly steps up and takes it, follows his blockers, breaks one tackle but gets taken down. He gets taken down by number 40, DJ Hollingshead. So we see Redlands knows the danger that these two men returning bring. They're pooch kicking it.
This is the first time that either Kelly or Weinstein has had an opportunity to really return the ball. And he makes them pay by gaining about 10 yards here. Over 10 yards, about 15 actually.
So Chapman will start their drive on their own 38. Chavez with McKibbins in the backfield. McGrew split out wide as a receiver. McGrew in motion. Fakes the handoff to McGrew. Chavez rolls right. Looking for a receiver. Has a receiver. That's Devin Kelly. He steps inside, and he's going to get a huge hit, but that's going to propel him across for a first down.
And Devin Kelly, right after that big return, gets involved in the offense right away. You can see here Chavez immediately moves out of the pocket, trying to extend that play. Finds Devin Kelly, who makes a great juke move and is able to get to the first down marker.
3 receivers to Chavez's left. Finds McKibbins in the flat, just out of his reach, and that's going to go as an incomplete pass. McKibbins had some space if he was going to hold on to that ball.
That's unfortunate. Chavez just made one great pass. Looks like he's trying to rebound from that not too great first possession of the second half.
Going to bring up 2nd and 10 from the 49. 6:25 left in the third. Chavez in the gun. McGrew motions to the backfield. Hands the ball off to McKibbins. He's met right there by Redlands tackler.
And that defensive line gets a hold of him right away.
Number 95, Adrian Rodriguez. He's been dominating this entire game with that line.
You're absolutely right. Adrian Rodriguez and Justin Lance for this Redlands defense have been all over McKibbins all night. I thought it was going to be Mitch Shepard, and he's been involved on a lot of plays as well, but those two have really dominated the Chapman offensive line so far this game.
3rd and long now for the Panthers offense. Chavez with the snap, fakes it. Screen to McKibbins, he has some space, follows his blocker, cuts inside, but he is going nowhere. Met by number 33, Griffin Lord with the initial contact, and now there's some pushing and shoving going down on the field.
A missed block by one of the Chapman players leads to that play of almost no gain. Number 33 for the Bulldogs, that's Griffin Lord, and McKibbins is on the ground.
Yeah, Griffin Lord body slammed in at the end of that play. Whistle was blown. Griffin Lord went all WWE on us.
And you have to imagine that's what the flag's going to be about.
Saw some extra fisticuffs in there. Let's see what the ref has to say about this. As McKibbins gets up and walks off under his own power.
Chapman would really miss his offensive skills.
Number 22 of the defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So it is on Redlands. Going against number 22, Nate Manamat Rodriguez.
McKibbins is heading off the field. Trainers are going to take a look at him. As of right now, it's going to be up to Hakeem McGrew to man the backfield. Let's take a look at this body slam again. Looks like it's going to be a screen pass to McGrew, but instead goes to McKibbins. A missed block by number 73. That's Jacob Spear. Leads to this body slam. And McKibbin's still getting looked at. You just have to hope that he's all right. You have to hope he can get back out there as soon as possible.
So Chavez walks back onto the field. This offense has new life. Hands the ball off to Crandali right there. And he's going to gain maybe 5.
And Crandall with his first run of the game. Let's take another look at this injury. We'll just see how far he pushed him back. The whistle was blown right about here, which is why the penalty was called. And just, this is the last thing you want to see if you're a coach or especially a parent.
Just unnecessary right there. As Chapman goes in that wildcat formation again with Craddock. Hands the ball off to McGrew. McGrew bounces around, and he's going to gain maybe 3 yards. So we see that loaded backfield every time Craddock is in the field of play.
That's right. Craddock is just their wildcat quarterback. He's a great defensive back, but he's even better as a wildcat quarterback, it looks like, because every time they're gaining yards on his plays.
So 3rd and 2. Craddock joined with Hakeem McGrew, Deanna Pashot, and Chandler Wong. Hands the ball off to McGrew again, and McGrew's going to fight his way for a first down. Oh, the ball came loose, and it looks like Redlands has the ball. No whistles were blown, and it looks like Redlands is going to get the ball. They never ruled McGrew down.
I think they're going to have to take another look at that. Adam Goss comes up with the fumble, but I'm not quite sure whether or not McGrew was actually down. I'm inclined to say that he was down, not only because I'm a Panther fan, but because I believe he was, in fact, down. Let's take another look at it. Oh, he was not down, in fact. Very heads-up play by Goss there.
See McGrew's had some fumbling problems this season. There's one more again. As Russell takes over, hands the ball off to Tanker, and he is met by the Chapman defense. All right, we're going to send it down to our sideline reporter, Nikki Lorenzen, who has more on the Jeremiah McKibbins injury. Nikki?
Thanks, guys. I just talked to Pam Gibbons, the head athletic trainer here for Chapman. Jeremiah McKibbins did miss the first game of the season due to a concussion, unfortunately, and after that last play, we just saw that he hit the ground really hard. And I talked to Pam, and she said that at first glance he does look all right, but they're still going to check him out before he goes back in the game just to be sure. Thanks, guys. Back to you.
And right there, Chapman recovers the fumble after a huge hit. Number 59, Devin Ray, gets the ball.
And Redlands just returns the favor there. It's unfortunate for the Bulldogs. Devin Ray, the 6'1" junior out of Westlake, really left his mark on that possession and got one back for McGrew.
The ball was poked out by number 79, Derek Hart. A huge play to answer that turnover.
Just all in all, a great defensive, just a great show of defensive teamwork there. One person knocked it out, one person recovered it.
Chavez looks to his right, has Sean Myers in the flat. He has some space. He cuts upfield, beats one tackle, breaks another tackle, and he's going to get a good gain. He goes for about 16 yards, but there is a flag on the field.
And the man who recovered the fumble earlier, Adam Goss, just made a great tackle to stop Myers from getting into the end zone.
Holding, number 17 of the offense. 10-yard penalty, still first down.
Another holding call against the Panthers.
And fellow receiver Devin Kelly. It's unfortunate. That play is going to be wiped back and brought back 10 yards.
Sean Myers showing what he is capable of and why people fear him around the SCIAC. That's going to bring up a 2nd and 14 for the Panthers offense. Chavez in the backfield with Crandall. Chavez looks to the sideline to get his play. 3 receivers and a tight end for Chavez. Hands the ball off to Crandall. He cuts up the middle. And he's going to get back just about to the original line of scrimmage.
It's going to bring up a 3rd and long. Crandall looks good coming into the game. He's trying to fill in for McKibbins as best he can until McKibbins can get back out there. We still don't know whether McKibbins is going to be seen for the rest of the game, but we have to imagine that Crandall is going to do his best.
And when we look at tonight's attendance, 2,117 of the Chapman faithful came out to support their boys in black.
Especially
hoping
on blackout night.
Chapman get a W tonight. Chavez looking for some time, rolls right, another flag thrown, looks for a receiver, and is nice tip by a defender. That was number 42, Jalen Devine. And another player down.
Hit.
Another player down injured. That's Louis Volk, the tight end.
Another late hit by Colin Spencer. I'm not sure whether to blame Spencer there, as the ball seemed to be going to the receiver.
This game is getting a little bit more chippy. Like we said, these two teams are rivals. Not technically fond of each other, as we're seeing this breakthrough in this second half.
Earlier we saw a Redlands player get up in the face of Bob Owens. We've seen some big hits from Rory on the Chapman side, and that big hit from Spencer there. And the big hit on McKibbins, not to
There's
mention.
one live ball foul and one dead ball foul. Holding, offense number 63. That's a 10-yard penalty. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 4 of the defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So Chapman gets the holding call, but gets helped out by Colin Spencer's unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, as we see here. Chavez buying some time, rolls to his right, looks for Louis Volk right there. Tip ball, but right there, right in the spleen.
Ooh.
That one had to hurt.
That looks more like a chiropractic move than a football hit right there.
And we see right there, Spencer stays there, stands over him and taunts him, and that's what got him the penalty. As Craddock is now in the backfield as the Wildcat quarterback.
Remember to follow us on Facebook.com/Chapman Broadcast Network after the game if you've enjoyed this broadcast.
Craddock runs for a gain of a few. Fakes the handoff in that jumbo backfield. Wildcat really working out for the Panthers tonight.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think they've lost a single yard on Wildcat formation plays so far.
Going to bring up a 2nd and 8. 1:30 left in this third quarter. Chapman still holding a 21-13 lead. Chavez takes the ball, hands the ball off to Crandall. He has some space, cuts up the middle for a gain of 5.
Crandall brought to the ground pretty quick. Helped up by his teammates. Has looked very good so far, filling in for the, as of right now, injured McKibbins.
Bringing up a 3rd and 4 for the Panthers offense. Big play right here. They are in field goal position right now. We know Lucas Alfonso has a huge leg. Be interesting to see the play call right here by the Panthers. So 3rd and 4. Chavez takes the snap, rolls to his left, looking for a receiver. Has a receiver, fakes the pump fakes, still under pressure, cuts up the middle, and he going nowhere.
Gets out of bounds. An amazing evading of pressure there by Chavez. Shows you why he has a few rushing touchdowns this year.
Held onto the ball a little bit too long, waiting for his receivers to get open.
Reminiscent of the better days of Colin Kaepernick right there. He even wears the same number, number 7.
Lucas Alfonso on to attempt a 36-yard field goal. Sean Myers is the holder. Snap is good. Kick is up. And that's going to be good. Lucas Alfonso tacks on 3 more points for the Panthers. And with 7.5 seconds remaining in the third, Chapman takes a 24-13 lead.
Lucas Alfonso, quite the leg, as we've already said several times throughout this broadcast, but you just can't say it enough. That'll put the Panthers back into a 2-possession game. Chapman fans really getting excited about the potential victory they are about to witness tonight.
Chapman brings their special teams unit onto the field, led by Lucas Alfonso. Appleton and Guglielmana back to receive for the Bulldogs. And the kick is up. Appleton takes it at his 6. Rolls right, breaks 2 tackles, and he's going to be taken out at the 32-yard line. And a flag comes in to the play of field. As more words are being exchanged between Redlands players and Chapman players.
Only 0.5 seconds left in this third quarter. And this has got to be some sort of phenomenon. So many
24.
flags.
Dead ball. Personal foul on the return team, number 24. 15-yard penalty. First down.
That's on Amani Bryan for the Bulldogs. That's going to push them back even further. They're going to have to start this drive from inside their own 20.
So Chapman definitely winning that field position battle as of now. Be interesting to see how this transitions into the fourth quarter. So one last play here into the third as Kevin Russell brings his offense onto the field. Russell takes the snap, hands the ball off. Cuts outfield, and that's a great tackle, or a great run right there by number 27, Ernesto Ruiz. Excuse me, that was Jacob Guglielmano. As our third quarter ends, Chapman holds the lead 24-13 over the Redlands Bulldogs. We have the fourth quarter coming up on the Chapman Sports Broadcast Network.
Follow your dreams. Chapman University, a diverse, well-rounded education. Art, dance, music, theater. Empower your future. The performing arts at Chapman University. Create.
And welcome back as we start the fourth quarter. Right there, Bob Owens, a little testy with the refs right there, trying to gain some momentum going into these last 15 minutes. Redlands will start their drive from their own 24-yard line. Russell hands the ball off to Gagliano, who breaks free and is hit right there by number 43, Lorenzo Marks, who lets him know that he hit him.
Lets him know just how McKibbins felt. Maybe not that bad, but these teams obviously do not like each other. And take another look here. The offensive line able to give him a nice hole to get around, but Marks steps up. He's able to get him down.
Russell rolls right, has a receiver by himself. Andrighetto drops the ball again. Andrighetto is a hit or miss right now, whether he's going to catch the ball or not.
Yeah, but when he does catch it, he's going for several yards. And you have to think that if he doesn't drop those 4 passes he's dropped in this game, this could be much, much closer than it is right now.
Andrighetto has a case of the yips right now. We see the penalty situation. Chapman 7 for 53. Redlands only have 6 penalties, but have a couple unsportsmanlike conducts.
And you have to think that before that third quarter, it was probably 15 yards to 20 yards.
Russell throws a short pass out wide to number 41, Tobias Dates. First time we've heard his name all game.
Ethan Weinstein able to get on him really quick. Looked like he was going to deflect that pass, maybe stop it from being caught at all, but very good hands from Dates.
Bringing up a 3rd and 5 for the Redlands Bulldogs. Let's see this Chapman Panthers team pin their ears back. Russell fakes the handoff, has the receiver. That's Blackburn again. Let's see, it's going to be very close to the line, and they're going to give him the first down.
Really all game, there's been nothing up the middle for this Redlands offense. That's why their run game has not been as strong as it usually is, and that's forcing the Redlands quarterback and the Redlands offense to do swing passes to spread out this defense.
Blackburn had 7 receptions for 50 yards coming into that reception right there. He's been the leading receiver all game. Russell hands the ball off to Guglielmo, bounces out wide, cuts up field, but he's going nowhere. He gets back to the line of scrimmage.
Tries to get to the edge, but Chapman players are all over that. They know where he's going. You can see here, trying to bounce to the outside, has absolutely nowhere to go. Number 57, Eddie Favors, and
don't forget the 3rd.
Once again involved on that defensive play.
2nd down for the Bulldogs. Little pump fake right there, but he's going nowhere. Russell tried the motion, pump faked out to the flats, went nowhere.
Giuliano McDonald making sure that Russell knows he cannot run on his field. And the Redlands offense just looking to the sideline, trying to find some way to get this Chapman defense to open up.
So 3rd down and 9 coming up for the Bulldogs. Russell steps back, has some pressure, and he's taken down. A huge sack by the Chapman defense and number 56. Giuliano McDonald was the first one to get there.
2 straight plays. McDonald just all over that Redlands quarterback. Excuse me.
Eddie Favors the 3rd again right there. Chapman really exploded through that offensive line.
You can't even really say that this was exceptional play by one guy, as really 3 Chapman Panthers were all over that quarterback. That's the 3rd sack of the game for the Panthers. 13 sacks allowed this year by the Redlands offensive line. Shows just how good the defensive line has played.
Weinstein back to receive this ball. He gets the ball at his 12. Looking for some space, cuts it back left. Has nowhere to go, cuts right back up the middle, and he's going to get maybe 1 or 2 yards from his original point of contact.
Made an interesting choice of maneuver there, actually going away from where his blocker was headed.
As we take a look at the SCIAC standings, the Laverne Leopards, who the Chapman Panthers blew a lead to last week, stand up top at 5-0 in the conference. Claremont Mudscript Stags 4-1. The Chapman Panthers took them to double overtime. Occidental and Redlands at 3-2. Cal Luthen and Chapman right there together. Then Pomona Pitzer and Whittier round out the SCIAC.
And what's crazy is that Chapman lost the game to Laverne 42-49, and this Redlands team lost to Laverne by the exact same score.
Very evenly matched teams we have tonight. As McGrew motions to the backfield. Chavez fakes the handoff, rolls to his right, looking for a receiver. He has Devin Kelly right there, and he gets a foot in after making the catch. That's going to be a pickup of 10 yards.
Devin Kelly made some highlight reel catches so far in this game. As you can see here, here's Chavez again rolling immediately out of the pocket where he's so comfortable and finding a receiver near the sideline.
Chavez, two running backs in the backfield. Handout off to McGrew. McGrew cuts right up the field for a gain of 7. And now we got another update on Jeremiah McKibbins. Nikki, what do you have for us?
Hey guys, I've been standing here on the sideline watching Jeremiah get checked out by some doctors and the athletic trainers here. They are doing a concussion test on him, and he's been running back and forth. He does seem very, very distressed. I saw him pounding on a table a little while ago. Maybe the outcome is not as clear as we initially thought. I'll keep you updated. Back to you.
Thank you, Nikki. Very discerning news, not just for this game, but for the rest of the season if Jeremiah McKibbins is hurt. As we see Crandall go, Eric Crandall right there, taking a page out of his fellow running back, Jeremiah McKibbins, hurdling over a defender.
A little too big of a hurdle for him to get over, though. If he had gotten over that, he had a lot of room in front of him, but just did not have the leg strength. But as you can tell by those calves, he has not skipped leg day in quite a while.
A third and short as Chavez goes under center with Crandall in the back, and Chavez sneaks it, and that's going to be enough for a first down. So Chapman keeps the chains moving, and the clock in the fourth quarter keeps going down and down.
And that's really all Chapman needs to do is find ways to kill this clock. They have the lead. They just have to protect it at this point.
Ten minutes left in this fourth quarter. As we see Andrew Chavez very accurate tonight, 9 of 10. Game manager, 102 yards. He's averaging a 55% completion.
We talked about Chavez as a West Coast style quarterback who can be accuracy masters, and he is really proving that point right now in this game. 9 of 10 shows just how effective the Chapman running game has been. They've only had to attempt 10 passes to build this 11-point lead.
And we said coming into this game, hand the ball off to McKibbins. Let your workhorse do it. McKibbins goes out. McGrew, Crandall, Pashot. Those 3 running backs are helping out this Chapman offense. So we have another injury on the field for Redlands. It's number 91, Trevor Raris. Big D lineman.
Chapman cheerleaders showing how excited they are for this lead right now. But right now all the attention is on Trevor Raris. Jake Bushman.
Please put 9:17 on the clock.
As we see Raris get up and walk off under his own power. Chapman brings out their offense again after the injury. It's Craddock playing the role of the Wildcat. It's a 2nd and 9 for the Panthers. Craddock hands the ball off to Crandall. He goes to the right, cuts upfield, has some space, bounces off one hitter, and finds a good gain. Vicente Sarver de Souza was the one who hit Crandall, but already had the first down.
Yeah, but that hard hit does not take away from the fact that this is a great run from Crandall. Bounces to the outside, great blocks in front of him. And that big hit just puts an end to a fantastic run.
Under 9 minutes to go in this game. Craddock's still there. Takes the direct snap to the right, has some space. Cuts upfield, and a couple flags thrown on the play. Be interesting to see this one in the area of holding, but it also
Holding. Offense number 55. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
So it is a holding. Thought it also could have been a chop block, as you see Craddock take that snap to the right. Try to cut outfield, but it's hit hard by Colin Spencer right there.
You're absolutely right, and that holding penalty is going to take away from what would have been about a 4-yard gain. And that wildcat formation is technically going to lose yards for the first time this game.
Again, that wildcat formation made its way to fame back in the late 2009s. Made its way by Arkansas, where Darren McFadden and Felix Jones were the running backs there.
It's a very popular style of play, and it's working to a T for this Chapman offense.
Chavez has a receiver, looks downfield, Riley Gilboa, but right outstretched of him. Colin Spencer with the coverage. The first time we've heard Gilboa's name all night.
Yeah, and that would have been a big play for him. Andrew Chavez under a little bit of pressure. Just a little bit overthrown. That's unfortunate, as that would have been a monstrous play for the Chapman offense.
Bringing up a 2nd and long. So the Panthers look to the sideline to get their next play. Chavez in the gun once again. McGrew to his left. Ball handed off to McGrew. Finds a hole, but he's taken down after a gain of 5.
We've yet to see McKibbins come back. We know he's being evaluated for a concussion, and this is not a good sign for this Chapman offense. He has been so key to their success, the amount of points they have scored so far this year.
That's when other running backs have to step up. We've seen McGrew, we've seen Pichot, we've seen Crandall.
Crandall especially. Crandall has definitely stepped it up so far.
Don't forget Craddock in the Wildcat offense as well. As Chavez taking the 3rd and 15 snap, has a receiver, throws a fade ball up. Gilboa once again. Contact all the way throughout, but no flag on the play, and Chapman's going to be forced to punt.
And Colin Spencer, the man of many hard hits this game on the coverage there. Looked like he was getting a little physical with Bo, but no flags on the play, as my colleague Justin Gillerman said earlier.
So William James will get onto the field, standing at his 30. Colin Spencer back deep to receive, along with Aaron Mondell. Excuse me, that is Kyle Kayberry. Colin Spencer takes the ball, breaks one tackle, switches field, goes to the right, has one man to beat. But Chapman recovers very nicely. Lorenzo Marks was by himself on that right side of the field. But the Chapman defense, special teams, recovered nicely.
There is a flag on the play. And number 20, Jake Cullen for the Chapman special teams, seemed to have missed a tackle that he really should have made, so we
During the
have
return,
to think it's
block in the back on the return team, number 25. 10-yard penalty, half the distance penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
And it is indeed on the Redlands return team.
So penalty is hurting the Bulldogs in this second half. They're going to start their drive at their own 10-yard line, trying to erase an 11-point deficit.
This possession could really break or make the game for both teams. If Redlands goes down and scores, they have the momentum with a lot of time left to tie this game up.
Agreed. Very important possession right here. Russell fakes the ball to Gagliano. Has Hashigawa out in the van. And the ball stripped out away. And this is going to, is it Chapman recover? Yes, they did. Right at that sideline. It's me. That was Kevin Johnson on the reception. And right there, Ethan Weinstein rips the ball away from him.
Frediani with the recovery. Just, they have been all over this game so far. 6'3" from El Modena, and We just said that this possession was going to be very important, and they take it away immediately. Well done by this Chapman defense.
Weinstein sheds his blocker, strips the ball, and the Fridge is right there to recover. Chavez takes the handoff to Crandall. Crandall's going to bust up the middle for about a 2-yard gain.
I know that didn't look like an impressive run, but Chapman's offensive line just pushed the Redlands defensive line back a few yards. And that's what really created that short gain when it should have been maybe only a 1 or 2 yard gain.
And we are seeing it now that this run game is breaking down and wearing out that defensive line of Redlands, and positive yardage on all these runs in the second half.
That's absolutely right, and that's what's helping Chavez's completion percentage, why he's been able to complete 9 of 12 passes so far this game.
The clock rolls to 6:40 left in the fourth quarter. Chavez takes the snap. Again, a handoff to Crandall. He busts up the middle, and that's going to be another solid 4 or 5 yard gain. All right, and Nikki Lorenzen has one more report on Jeremiah McKibbins at the sideline. Nikki, what do you have for us?
Hey guys, it seems like the only person on this team right now that's not celebrating is Jeremiah. I got the chance to catch up with him on the sideline a little while ago, and he is unsure of his condition. He's unsure if he has a concussion, but it does look like he's not going in for the rest of this game, unfortunately. Back to you guys.
Very unfortunate news right there. Jeremiah McKibbins not only a very good running back for this team, but the senior leader of this offense. Chavez takes the snap, hands it off to Crandall again, busts up the middle again, and once again, positive yardage, breaking down this Redlands D-line.
Winning in the trenches, that's all they've done all night, and that's the most important thing they can continue to do. You see Crandall here has a huge hole to run through, and that's all you have to do is gain positive yards each play. As long as you can do that, you can continue to wear out this defense.
And that clock's rolling down to less than 5:30 now in the fourth quarter. Chapman slowing this game down, long drives, extending the time. Again, Chavez hands off to Crandall, up the middle once more, but this time Redlands is right there to stop him for maybe a gain of 1.
And you can only ask for so much from the Chapman offensive line. They've really shown why McKibbins, Crandall, and McGrew are one of the most feared backfields in the SCIAC. And, you know, this is where Chapman's offense really misses McKibbins. McKibbins such a great red zone threat for the Chapman offense.
Going to bring up a 3rd and 5 for the Panthers. Chavez takes the snap, fakes the hands off, has Peugeot right there in front of him. Peugeot, one man to beat, can't beat him, gets taken down at the 4-yard line. But it looks like it's enough for a first down, and Chapman keeps this possession going.
Peugeot getting involved in this really short drive after the fumble, and just a great play, unable to get around that defender. Colin Spencer once again involved in that tackle. And they get 4 downs from inside the 5, and you have to think that if they score here, the game is all but over.
Peugeot fights off that initial contact and rumbles for 3 more yards. These running backs are stepping up in the absence of Jeremiah McKibbins. First and goal from the 2, handoff to Crandall. He gets stopped at the 1 for a run of no gain.
We need to see Air McKibbins again, but this time it's got to be Air Crandall. I mean, it's worked so far this game. Just allow your running backs to jump over your offensive line, and we'll see if that's what they're going to try to do on this play.
Yeah, when you get to these goal line situations, the push of the lines is what wins these battles. 2nd and goal for the Panthers. And there's a fumble on the exchange, but Chavez recovers the ball. It looks like Chavez wanted to keep the ball for himself, but Peugeot was running with it already, and that's what caused the exchange.
Yeah, a muffed exchange there almost creates a fiasco for the Chapman Panthers, but Andrew Chavez, as he's done all year, is able to recover from his mistakes, and they have one more play to get into the end zone.
Bob Owens with a sigh of relief right there.
Indeed.
So a 3rd and goal now from the 7-yard line. You would think the Panthers would go for the field goal if they can't get in right here. Let's see what Chavez does. Chavez hands the ball off to Grandal. He goes up the middle for a gain of 3. He's going to go to the 5-yard line. It's going to bring up 4th down. And Lucas Alfonso is running on the field to attempt the field goal.
If I'm Coach Bob Owens, you got to go for the field goal here because it's a 2-possession game, and you don't want Redlands to be able to come back with a touchdown and a field goal. You want to make it 2 touchdowns for them to have a chance at this game.
A field goal here would make it a 14-point lead for the Panthers with under 2 minutes remaining as Lucas Alfonso on to attempt another field goal. Snap is good, kick is up, and it is right down the middle, and Lucas Alfonso tacks on 3 more points for the Panthers, who now lead 27-13 over the Redlands Bulldogs. As we take a look at the season results so far for the Chapman Panthers, opened up their season with that huge loss at Linfield, came back at home, loss against to Whitworth, double overtime to Claremont, got on the winning side of things with Pomona Pincer, but then back and forth the rest of the way through the SCIAC. Chapman not playing up to their potential that they're used to seeing every single year.
You're absolutely right. Chapman last year was SCIAC champions, and this year hasn't gone absolutely according to plan, but if they can make the playoffs, you should never count this Panthers team out.
So Lucas Alfonso on to kick off. There's 1:52 left in the 4th quarter. Guglielmana and Devin Appleton back to receive for the Bulldogs as they've done all night.
The Bulldogs have not used any of their timeouts yet.
Guglielmano takes the ball, crosses the 20, is met there but breaks the tackle. He's still going, and he keeps those feet moving and gets just shy of the 35-yard line.
Guglielmano looked like he was on the carousel there. So many spins, evading tackles. Very solid return there.
Craddock with the tackle right there.
We take a look at it. Here we have Guglielmano. Whoop! And whoop! And able to gain some extra yards. Very solid return.
So Russell comes out, drops back, fires down the field, finds his man. A huge tackle. That was number 41, Tobias Dates, on the reception, and flags on the play again after some extracurriculars.
Take a look at this. Just finds a soft spot in the defense, and although he didn't get many yards after the catch, that is a very, very big play.
Personal foul. Offense, number 1. 15-yard penalty. First down.
And that's what's been biting Redlands in the back this entire game. Personal fouls. I've counted 4 so far in this game.
And that's Andre Ghetto. Andre Ghetto a little frustrated with himself, you have to imagine, after all those drop passes, and just commits a stupid penalty there.
Russell looking huge downfield right there. Nice catch made as Connor Larkin hits him. No, it's an incomplete pass. So Connor Larkin reaches the point of contact. A nice hit as Christian Guzman was unable to come up with it.
Drew DeMarco knocked the ball loose. Drew DeMarco's been all over this Redlands offense this game.
Russell drops back on 2nd down. Chucks the ball deep downfield. Hasagawa has him beat, but there's Lorenzo Mark helping over safety, and a late flag thrown on the play.
Looks like it's against Chapman, as number 33, Connor Larkin, seems to be upset with the call. Weinstein also very upset. Gets a little comfort from his teammate Lorenzo Marks there, though.
Pass interference. Defense, number 43. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Not sure about that call right there.
I'm not quite either. I would think that that was uncatchable, very underthrown, and really Chapman players were just trying to defend the pass rather than interfere with the receiver.
Here's that last play where Connor Larkin and Drew DeMarco team up to knock the ball away. Good play, individual play by those two. Russell finds a looking for a receiver, steps up in the pocket, rolls to his left, has a receiver right there. He catches it at the 38 and is brought up to the 35-yard line.
That's Connor Kennedy with his first catch of the game. And Redlands looking like they're trying to do a hurry-up offense, but instead,
Number 93, Chapman must set out one play for losing his helmet. Timeout. Redlands. That is their first timeout.
So Redlands takes a timeout right there as we take a look at what this Chapman defense has been doing all night long. As we see here, only 277 yards allowed. They're usually allowing 422. Huge improvement right there. The rush yards over 100, pass yards 169. Right there, the 4 turnovers. That's the biggest factor in this game so far.
that's the absolute key. Without those 4 turnovers, this turns into a momentum shifting event. And you see those 108 rush yards. A team like Redlands, which is known for their rushing attack, being just absolutely stopped by this Chapman D-line and linebacking core.
Yeah, Redlands averaging 192 rush yards throughout the season. Not tonight as Chapman's defense has stepped up. Russell looking downfield, has some pressure to his left, breaks out to his right. One man, he fires it across the middle to number 83, Kyle Kayberry.
Kyle Kayberry, the 5'11 sophomore, gets his first reception. And we see here Kevin Russell doing his best Andrew Chavez impersonation, getting away from tackles and really extending the play and allowing Kayberry to get open and get some good yardage.
As the chains move, Russell takes the snap up the middle. Huge hit by Lorenzo Marks at the point of contact. And he is looking at his sideline, trying to pump his teammates up. A huge hit by Marks.
Russell looked for Kayberry again, and Kayberry almost came down with it, but Marks said, not in my house. You're not going to get this touchdown.
Between Marks and Connor Larkin, Chapman has a duo of safeties that they just love to hit some people.
Yeah, these are some very hard hits. Colin Spencer for Redlands wishes he could hit like these guys.
Russell tried to find Guzman out on a 6-yard out. Guzman could not come up to it, and that's going to be a 3rd and 10 now from the 15.
The game is not out of reach yet for Redlands. A score here followed by an onside kick could tie the game up. We see the drop pass here by Guzman, a pass that really should be completed. Especially if he can get out of bounds, it sets them up much better.
Russell looks left, finds Hasagawa, but again met by Weinstein. That's not going to be enough for a first down as Redlands calls timeout. There's only 45 seconds left in the game, and they're trailing 14. They need to punch this into the end zone. They can't settle for this field goal right here.
You're absolutely right. If they cannot get into the end zone, Chapman is just going to be able to run this clock out without any trouble.
They're already a huge mountain they have to overcome. But as of right now, 45 seconds left in the 4th quarter. Chapman leading 27-13. We'll have the conclusion right after the break here on the Chapman Sports Broadcasting Network.
Follow your dreams. Chapman University. Take your life to new heights. Chapman University. Invest your humanity. Lead.
And Redlands struts onto the field for their 4th down play. The Chapman fans are getting excited. The Chapman players on the sideline are getting excited. This will decide the game right here. Russell rolls to his right, looking for a receiver. Cuts back to his left, has a man right there, but it's tipped out of his hands. And Connor Larkin again with the play of the game. And Chapman's going to walk away with a victory tonight.
Tobias Dates looks very frustrated with himself. He really should have made that play. Connor Larkin, the academic stud for Chapman, is also a stud on the football field, broke up that pass. Russell sees his receiver all the way across the field, goes across his body, and a pass that should have been completed and led to a touchdown is just too well defended by Larkin. And Larkin is going to get several high fives and pats on the butt from his teammates.
Incredible hand-eye coordination once he became engaged with Dates, using his hands, knocking that football out. Connor Larkin, probably the player of the game on the defensive side. As Chavez takes his knee and he's going to let this clock run out. And the Panthers are going to walk away with a huge victory in a big rivalry game.
For 2 years in a row, it looks like Chapman is going to get the better of this tough Redlands Bulldogs team. Coach Owens has a hard-fought win under his belt, and two teams are going to be tied in the SCIAC standings after this game.
You know, the season may not be going the way Chapman wanted it to go, but anytime you can beat your rival at home, that's a big win. That could shape your season.
It's a great sign. It's a great start, and if they want any chance to get into the playoffs, this is a very good start to that.
As the two teams meet at the 50-yard line, going through handshakes. You noticed the battle of the trenches was one of your big keys. At Chapman won the battle of the trenches, they win the football game.
You're absolutely right. Chapman's rushing attack was far superior to that of Redlands, and it showed because the offensive and defensive linemen for Chapman completely outplayed the same positions for Redlands. The two teams continued to shake hands. They are rivals, but they do have respect for each other. And that's the most important thing in this wonderful sport of football, respect.
Yeah. These two schools, right down the freeway from each other. They know each other very well. A little feisty at times during tonight's game, but at the end of the day, both teams respect each other. And both teams, hey, they just want to play football.
And one side of the stands is going to go home happy today. The other side hasn't been happy most of the game, but you have to imagine it was at least fun to watch a good competitive football game.
Alrighty, so the final score, Chapman 27, Redlands 13. We'll have the post-game report coming up right after the break here on the Chapman Sports Broadcasting Network.
Follow your dreams. Chapman University. History, philosophy, peace studies, languages. Study abroad and explore the world. Become a global citizen. The Wilkinson College at Chapman University. Invest your humanity. Lead.
Welcome back to Ernie Chapman Stadium, where the Chapman Panthers defeated the Redlands Bulldogs by a score of 27-13 in a feisty rivalry game tonight.
You're absolutely right. Bob Owens deserved this win. Chapman deserved this win. They played harder. They won this win more than their opponent.
Alrighty. We see Coach Bob Owens there. You know he's happy with the way this game turned out. And we have Nikki Lorenzen standing on the sideline with quarterback Andrew Chavez. Nikki.
Hi guys, I'm down here with Andrew Chavez. How does it feel to win the first time at home against Redlands?
You know, it's great. It's just great for the program. Obviously, this season didn't go as we planned, and it's just great to get a team win here tonight.
What are you most excited about for next week's game? Senior night?
Yeah, definitely. Just leaving it all out here for these seniors. This will be this seniors' last game here, and, you know, everybody just wants to play for them.
Mm-hmm. So last year, a Redlands game brought us a SCIAC title. Do you think that maybe this motivational win could bring us towards another title in the SCIAC?
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of the younger guys and the guys that are playing this year, they know that they left a lot. We had a lot of close games in the SCIAC this year, and they're just going to learn from it, and they're going to get better, and the program's going to keep just ascending up.
Well, you heard it here first. Thanks, guys. Back to you.
Alrighty, thank you, Nikki. After the break, we're going to roll through the game highlights and a full game summary. The Chapman Panthers win this game 27-13. You're watching the Chapman Sports Broadcast Network.
Stand up for what's right. Chapman University. Passion, perseverance, teamwork, integrity. Create value in the world. The School of Law at Chapman University. Lead.
Welcome back to the campus of Chapman University, where we saw the Chapman Panthers pull off a big SCIAC victory over their rivals, the Redlands Bulldogs. Now, we knew what this game was going to bring. We knew it was going to be feisty. We knew a lot of talent was going to be shown on the field, and we weren't disappointed.
We were absolutely not disappointed. I think one thing we did not expect was all the penalties and just how much these teams wanted to beat each other up.
Yeah, a lot of big electric plays today. Let's take a look at the full game highlights.
So the very first thing we have is the touchdown to Blackburn, followed by the interception by Drew DeMarco, really the biggest turning point, at least of the first half, if not the entire game. And now here we got the run of the day, McKibbins, bouncing off to the left and going around to the right, and just over 50 yards, really showed off exactly what he can do, why he's won SCIAC Athlete of the Week. The touchdown by Kevin Russell, we've talked about how dangerous he can be as a running quarterback. And then here's a fumble. Ethan Weinstein forces the fumble, and that was probably the moment that Redlands knew they weren't going to win that game. Pichot, Crandall, especially after McKibbins got injured, they really showed
Really stepped
that,
up.
Yeah, they all stepped up.
See Russell.
And another story of this game was the Chapman defensive line just getting sacks all day, protecting their quarterback on the offensive side of the ball. And here, what could have been a turning point for the game in favor of Redlands really turned into a motivational spot. McKibbins getting injured.
That's secondary by the Chapman defense. Connor Larkin, Drew DeMarco, Ethan Weinstein, Lorenzo Marks. They really set their mark in this game.
They absolutely did. You are absolutely right. They hit hard, they hit plenty of times, and they got turnovers when they needed them. They forced a bunch of fumbles, they got an interception, and especially on this pass here, Connor Larkin stops him from getting the touchdown, and that is what officially sealed the game for the Chapman Panthers, sealed the victory.
Chapman defense was the reason this team won this game tonight, as we take a look at the full game summary. Passing yards, the Redlands Bulldogs kind of went away with that. We knew that was going to happen. They're a very aerial team. But the rush yards, Bulldogs averaging 192 on the season, only 108. The Panthers get McKibbin started before his injury. Yards per play, very similar. The turnover battle was the reason the Chapman Panthers came out on top.
Yeah, as you can see, the Bulldogs actually have more yards on the day, but just unable to hold on to the ball in their own territory is what led to the Panther victory.
All righty, well, that's all we have for us tonight. You just saw the Chapman Panthers defeat the Redlands Bulldogs 27-13. For Justin Gillerman and Michael Hoefling, you've been watching the Chapman Sports Broadcast Network.